My name's Les Gordon. We farm at Burraboy. At the moment we're running about 300 head of cattle. So originally cattle fitted in the operation as stubble managers effectively. That and we didn't mind working with cattle. During the last drought they were a pretty handy source of income, so we've maintained the program. The last 2 years have been pretty tough for the most part. Coming off 2016 we had a lot of hay. It wasn't very good quality, the same as everything that was made then. So that sort of sustained us, but we weren't thriving on it. We needed to do something different. We were out of feed and we couldn't finish cattle. So we either sold our cattle as stores, which everyone was doing, and the price was certainly nothing to get excited about, or we worked out a way of feeding them, and we decided with a bit of carryover water from the previous year, we would work out a way of feeding them. So we've talked to nutritionists and agronomists and LLS people, and just really taken wisdom from wherever we can get it, because it was a bit of we'd never made silage before. We'd grown forage sorghum but only ever made hay. In this instance we were determined to make silage because we wanted to get on and off the paddock as quick as we could. We wanted to get as much high quality feed as we possibly could for the smallest amount of water we possibly could. Ultimately we sowed 24 hectares of forage sorghum, and we sowed that in November, and we managed to get it cut 3 times altogether. Just under 1,250 bales of silage off it altogether. The quality's been extraordinary. The batch we're feeding out at the moment, which is the second cut, protein was at 20% and digestible energy was at 10.7, and you can really see the difference. The cattle are really doing well on it, particularly the weaner cattle.
So that's fantastic feed. That's going to put condition on any type of stock if they're fed enough of that. So in Les's situation, he's able to use that to feed for production.
The next lot of feed testing we had done, we also nitrate tested it and found that the initial batch that we cut, the first cut, was high in nitrate, and we lost some cattle out of a paddock that had nothing else to eat other than what we were giving them, and a couple of cattle had the opportunity, a couple of younger cattle had the opportunity to gorge themselves. A bit of a dose of nitrate poisoning. We now understand that, so we've learnt what we had to do to manage that. Shifted the cattle so they had more access to straw and upped the straw ration as well, and changed batches. We went to the second batch, which had a much lower nitrate level. Giving it that top dress at Tilring, which is good agronomically, was where our nitrate came from. So wouldn't do that again. My understanding is that the nitrate level will drop in the bale, so we'll leave that now for as long as we possibly can, and then we may probably very well mix it. We've learned our lesson. We'll nitrate test as a matter of course from here on in. The bales behind me have cost about $50 odd a bale in the stack, plus our time involved in doing it. If I had to buy water in, there's a lot of water involved, so that would have buggered the sums up a bit.
One of the things that we can do with technology these days, there's an app that you can get on your phone. We can look at how much it's cost per bale for Les to produce this silage, and he can look at how much it's costing him per unit of energy and per unit of protein as well, and he can compare that to other feeds that he could have bought in, be it hay or barley or whatever he might be able to get his hands on.
Every time I don't do a feed test, I get burnt, and I say always do a feed test. So always do a feed test.